Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Master Grade Gundam F90 3Y Cluster Gundam. That name right there is quite the mouthful, and this right here is the next addition to Bandai's Gundam F90 A-Z project. When it does come to this version right here, this is the third Gundam F90 after Gundam F90, Gundam F90 2, and Gundam F90, well, this one right here, 3. Apparently the F90 3Y Cluster Gundam is the third unit in the F90 series built by the Earth Federation Forces Strategic Naval Research Institute. The main feature that sets it apart from the previous F90 units was the incorporation of a core block system that functioned as its cockpit. At least that's what it says according to the awesome Gundam Wiki. When it does come to this model kit right here, like pretty much everything we've seen in this particular line, it's built on the foundation of the Gundam F90. There's tons of variants out there, but this is the one we're going to be taking a look at today. Even though you may not be able to tell from the box right here, this and every kit from the A-Z project is a premium Bandai exclusive, so if you do want to get your hands on one or all of them, then you can check out that link down there in the description, because that's where I got mine, through Bai, and you can too. Anyway, let's get it checked out. Anyway, jumping on into the aesthetics, and this right here is today's build. So, this is 7 of 50. So right now on the channel it is Buildmas. I am challenging myself to build as many kits as I can before Christmas, and if I keep up at the rate I'm going, I should get 50 done. So far, I got this right here, the 30-minute mission Ziglite, the high-grade Messer Mine Lair, yes, this is a master grade, and this is a high-grade, believe it, the high-grade Vargil Gundam Head, master grade God Gundam, the absolutely phenomenal Real Grade Sword Impulse Spec 2, and the beautifully silver Delta Zayan. And you may have also noticed during Buildmas right here, I am pushing the Mecha Gaikotsu Patreon a little bit. The reason for that being is, currently, you may or may not have noticed this, but most of my videos now right now during Buildmas are in 4K, but if you've got real eagle eyes, you'll notice that about halfway through, they're upscaled HD. The reason for this is, even though the camera I have is really awesome, it does overheat about halfway through my reviews and can't shoot 4K anymore. Also, I really love shooting these particular shots right here, these nice high frame rate slow-mo shots which get absolutely mesmerizing footage of kits, which means you can see all the detail, it looks quite dynamic, it keeps all the old hand trembly away, and it just works out so nicely all of the time. It's the way I do like to shoot, especially for aesthetics and intros, but the problem is that even overheats the camera even more. So it means more of the video has to be shot in HD. So just like way back when I did do the Kshatriya review, that was when I got this camera. That I got directly through Patreon, and if we managed to make that happen again, I would be super grateful. I'm always looking to update and upgrade the overall visuals and sound on the channel. So again, link to the Patreon is down there in the description, and through Buildmas and beyond, all of my videos will be on Patreon 12 hours early and ad-free. So if that sounds good to you, you want to help out the channel? Then check out that link down there in the description. Now back to the F90 3Y Cluster Gundam. Anyway, back to the aesthetics on the Gundam F90 3Y Cluster Gundam, which from now on I'm just going to call the Gundam F93 just to keep it simple. Now, when it does come to the aesthetics on here, this is pretty much what we would have been seeing since day one with this particular project, all the way back to the Gundam F90. Overall, what you might notice is just in general, the colors are a lot more vivid in these particular kits compared to your standard master grade, which gives them a little bit of an old school look, while they do have somewhat of a modern feel. Now, we'll underline somewhat because these have kind of gotten trapped in time. What would have been incredibly impressive, I guess, model kit wise back when the first F90 came out, now feels a little bit on the not so premium side. Now, I will mention the color separation is off the charts. All the tiny little pieces of color all over the place, popping through here and there. The vivid colors are incredible, but the build quality in the hand doesn't feel that great, especially the upper thighs. Well, they've always been a bit of an Achilles thigh since the first one. Overall, though, they are decently nice, and this is more of that kind of alternate universe feeling Gunpla that Premium Bandai kind of does a lot now. Like the D Gundam First, the Gundam Xerius, these feel like a completely different beast to standard kits, so this does not feel like regular master grade really too much at all. Of course, there is the compatibility. The hands here would be pretty much the same as the Gundam F91, which was a full release, but overall, a completely different beast. So yeah, when it does come to the aesthetics on here, it's not really on par with what we'd be seeing from master grade these days. If you take the master grade Gundam Vidar, any of the Verkas like the Zeta Gundam or the narrative that would have come out, even to some degree the Sinanju Stein, but not so much, this does look a little bit on the plain side. However, when you do get in there, there are some nice features. We do have clear parts in the head which look extremely nice. No color separated eyes here, just your usual head sticker. The Vulcans in the head are all color separated, so we've got grey and yellow, and the big old Gundam red beard there, looking incredible. Moving on down to the chest, we've got grey color separation as well. Vivid colors, yellow thrusters in the side, framed by grey, which looks great. The red pops off, and overall we do have a nice rounded out shape. Some clear pieces in the clavicle too. Around back, this isn't its main backpack by the way. This is a little adapter that comes included with a classic Gundam F90 style backpack. So this one actually comes with a core fighter, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Again, color separation really is where this kit absolutely kills it. We've got so much going on in the front skirtings from all the yellow, layered yellow and grey around each other, just looks amazing. Same round back, same sort of layering of grey parts and yellow in the thrusters, which looks exceptionally premium, and the legs on here are nice, stocky, blocky, and again the same sort of color separation across the board. Yellow framed with grey, grey popping through from underneath, and overall the plastic has a real sheen across it, which gives it a completely different master grade kind of look. Not in a not so premium kind of plastic sort of way that you see with some shiny plastic. It actually seems like premium shiny plastic, if you even get what I mean. Overall, very beautiful looking kit. Needs some panel lining, mine here is a straight build. Just giving it a good old spin around there so you can see every little detail about it for yourself. There's a lot of these kits out there that are just really cool and I need to get around to. There's like some variants like the Gun Raid, which is pretty much the same kit again, but it's got loads of red all over it. I've got that line on the shelf to build, possibly during Buildmas. And I will mention I don't actually have my Gundam F90 and Gundam F91 and Gundam F92 in order to kind of put beside this sadly because all of those are in storage at the moment. So I'm just going to take a cheeky picture right off of this Schizophonic blog. It's a great blog, you should go there. It's really good. Google Translate's great these days, so you don't even need to know Japanese. And you'll always see some great pictures and comparisons, so there is a bit of comparison of this kit with more from the same line. But as for what I've got on hand, so throwing it down beside two average size master grade kits, and the Gundam F93 makes these look like absolute colossi. This one over here is the 3.0, and this one right here is the origin version of the master grade Gundam Oryx 78-2. So as you can see, F93, like usual F90s, is a little bit on the small side. Next up beside the master grade God Gundam, master grade Gundam Vidar, full mechanics Aerial, and finally the master grade narrative Gundam. So as you can see, it's a little bit on the chibi side. Are you secretly a high grade? So jumping now into the accessories, and here's the Gundam F93 with absolutely everything that it comes with, and this comes with a huge amount of stuff. Now first off, we've got a lot of things that are adapters. These are for using the previously released mission packs. So mission packs, I don't know, A through Z, some are the, well, ones or the others, I don't know which, but a whole bunch of them. Basically it's for attaching them on. Same around back here as well, that's an adapter for a backpack again for other mission packs. The actual backpack for this kit is the core fighter that is included. We also have a beam rifle, a pair of beam sabers, the actual sabers themselves are right in there, a big old beam shield, and 2 bazookas, as well as attachment points. Overall, a whole lot inside of this box. So first off in here is the hands. Now these are the swappable type fingers, so that means you just kind of pop off the fingers you don't want, and then pop on the ones that you do when you need them. They're an okay design, but I find they tend to fall off occasionally, and these hands are quite small. If I'm not mistaken, they're exactly the same as the ones we would have seen on the Gundam F90. So just like the rest of the line so far, this kit is absolutely kitted out for using all of the A to Z packs. For example, everything you pop off, like up here, has the adapters for attaching stuff on. Same goes for under here, just pop off the yellow section, more hard points under there, underneath the side skirts, various segments on the back of the arm and the sides of the legs as well. Now these can be popped off for using with other ones, so there's a whole lot you can do here. Same down on the calf, you can pop it off like so, so tons of hard points for all of the various mission packs. So that makes these kits some of, if not the most, modular and customizable kits out there. There's so many variants with so many mission packs. We have variant pieces as well. For example, these are for on the back of the arms, that you can actually change the entire forearm, and this makes it more compatible with some of the older releases. Same for these sides of the legs, we've got these parts for attaching on, which are pretty much from the Gundam F90 itself, again for some of the previously released mission packs. The same with the backpack back here. This is actually just attached onto this adapter segment for using with the mission packs. This is what we actually have in this kit, a big old hole for a core fighter, which is the first from this line. Speaking of the core fighter, this is it right here. As you can see, that green is cracking off in the cockpit, so this definitely glows under blue light. The wings can move ever so slightly. These segments right here, these are the beam sabers. They pop out like so. We've got super green beams in here as well, so that does mean these probably glow, well, definitely glow under blue light too. But just like I've been doing with these faster videos, I'm going to be outfitting this kit for display, so I'm not going to be trying everything with it. Just kind of the cool stuff that is in here. There is the bottom, so nicely detailed. We do have a hole for attaching this onto a standard action base. The inside, the verniers are in colors, which is always a beautiful touch. That is one thing you can say with this line. The attention to detail when it comes to color is quite good, but I will also mention there are a few stickers for fixing some things that don't have any color, and we do have a sheet of water slide decals, which is very premium Bandai. The kit can look a little bit plain without them, so popping these on will definitely make it look incredibly detailed. So as for prepping this for attachment into the Gundam, you drop down the nose like so. This part bends on down like this, and that's it ready for attachment. You bring the wings on all the way back, and apparently you pull these beam sabers outwards like so. Then that just docking goes right into the back like so. It doesn't really clip or anything like that, but it does feel well in there. It didn't make a click sound, but it does feel like it is nicely attached. And that is what the new backpack looks like on it, finishing off the Gundam F90. Now we do have a cool cockpit here. You just pull it out just like so. And then it moves down and out of the way like so. So you can see right on into the cockpit of the actual core fighter in there. That is a very nice, cool, and beautiful touch. Moving on through the weaponry now, and first up we've got the beam rifle. This is quite nice. We do have some color separation on here. Side to side moving handle. The lens here is a clear piece, which is always incredibly nice to see, and you can actually drop this down for storage. As for attaching this, this is a finger swapping maneuver, so you just pop off the fingers you don't want, attach the trigger fingers into the trigger and onto the handle. The grip is okay, and then you just attach it into the hand just like so. So not too bad a grip, holding on fairly decently. Next up in here is the Mega Beam Bazooka, and we do have two of these. Again, very nicely designed. We have a nice yellow piece in the front. The lens is an actual clear piece yet again. There is the option of sticking a sticker over that if you want, but I think that would be a disservice to the unit. The handle here can move up and out of the way. Again, same attachment point, so you can attach it into the hands, which is not what I'm going to do. Instead, there is a cooler way of attaching these. So we do have two side points that pop out, just like so. These right here are for attaching this onto the butt flap if you do want to attach it into these little claw segments back here, which open up. These are very nice, but there's even a nicer way to attach these on. So you can attach these on almost in a way that does resemble the VSBRs in a kind of simplistic sort of way. But yeah, like the VSBRs on the Gundam F90. We've got these little attachment points. These just pop onto the side, just like so. Pop off the hardpoint covers that are on the side skirtings, and then you're able to pop these guys right on into the hard points on the waist. So we're getting a little bit of clash back here with the backpack for now. Maybe we can arrange things around a little bit afterwards. The other side then pops on into the other side. A little bit more awkward than I was hoping, but still working out. And there we go. We've got them almost like VSBRs. They're not attached onto the backpack. Instead, they're attached onto the hips, but they are always ready to go to start firing off some mega beams. The last piece of equipment we have in here then is the shield, and this is very impressive. So nice green here. This will catch blue light perfectly. Let's see if I can give a little bit of an example. Pop this over to blue, turn off that light up there. As you can see, it will start to glow. This isn't the craziest blue light around, but you can get a general idea of how this will kind of give that crackling energy effect when up on your shelf in a blue or blacklit room. There is a nice decal for popping on this. I might do that, not right now, but at another time, because it does add that extra dimension to it. This is what the shield looks like when it's not generating its energy, which looks cool. Around on the back, we do have a bit of a moving handle for popping into the hand, a pull-out peg up top, that's for attaching it into the forearm, and when this is not actually fully deployed, it's able to go around the forearm just like so, which makes it a very kind of minimal-sized shield when it's not blasting out energy. As for getting Again, this attaches the same way whether the energy effects are on it or not. That is, just pop out that little tab and attach it into the tab hole. You can also attach it into the hand too for a double grip, so it will be attached on stronger. And when it is attached, this is what it looks like right here. Again, the 90 little logo you can pop on there as a decal will make it look a whole lot nicer. This seemed a little low profile at first, but now that you actually have it attached onto the big old bracer on the shoulder, that is an arm, then it's actually quite the ridiculously bulky unit. Anyway, let's get the effects onto that. Just pop these out. They kind of like to fall off, which is something that kind of happens on this kit every now and then. But thankfully, attaching the beam effects on locks everything into position so it's rock solid once they are attached on. And that right there is what the shield looks like. Now that is a Gundam shield. That can basically block the entire Gundam's body, head, everything all in one go. Other Gundams, you need to take note. That's a shield. So now jumping on to the articulation and the usual comment on the build first. And yeah, the upper thighs on this are pretty bad. Basically, they're held in by pressure. So when these are attached together, it's fine. So you might want to cement something in there, but just frequent movement even, will kind of just make them start to detach. It's only happening on one side, so maybe something is a little poorly attached on there. So maybe ignore that. Otherwise though, this is made out of a kind of rubbery plastic, so there is a bit of a swing in the hips there that grips off itself somewhat, but at the same time just really isn't all that particularly strong. Anyway, usual pose time. So yeah, this is very classic while at the same time very uniquely designed. So nice movement down there at the lower leg. Not too much in the foot kicking in like so, but you can bend the knee nicely and dynamically, so there's a nice kind of weight to the way this drops into a lunge, almost like, you know, a giant robot would. Some rotation in the forearm is nice. Shoulders move forward inside of the torso. You can rotate the forearms, which is always handy, especially when it's got big kind of bracers like so. Hips are already kind of giving up on me. Bend right there. Something's detaching ever so slightly, maybe a mechanism in the hips. Oh, there it goes. That is one of the hard points, by the way. And there we go. There is the final pose, and overall not bad. Looks heavy duty. The legs impress me with their overall kind of look. Not so much with the loose thigh up there, but overall not too bad, but not too fantastic either. It may perform a little bit better up in the air. Well, gravity's getting to it. Go on. There we go. All right, push that up a little bit harder and it's not rattling around so much anymore. It's one of those cases where Bandai has kind of cut a corner by making the peg that sort of peg. So it means when it's only slightly in, it wiggles around a lot, has to be fully pushed in order to not wiggle, but it likes to work its way out. Not the greatest design. So anyway, that right there is the review for the Master Grade Gundam F90 3Y Cluster Gundam, and this to me is X Gold tier, basically average for a Master Grade kit. Aesthetically, this is absolutely beautiful. The breakdown of colors on this is nice, the color separation is fantastic. The way we've got verniers with color, various little thrusters with the grey and yellow in them looks phenomenal. The color separation on the head, all the Vulcans, it's done so well. On the flip side, however, there is meant to be some more color. For example, the triangles up on the shoulders, those are not color accurate, and there are a couple of color correcting stickers inside of the box. Get a little bit of panel lining on it though, it'll break up all of those whites and it will look incredible, especially with the included water slide decals. Articulation wise, once again, fairly average. The legs are pretty cool, you get a lot out of them. There's a little bit of a funny build to the kit to some degree that does feel a little bit dated, which does make some parts a little bit wiggly and rubbery. The torso doesn't have a lot of articulation due to the fact that it is a docking point for a core fighter, but overall you get some nice poses out of it, but it does feel a little bit limited. Accessories wise, this is where this kit wins. There's a whole ton of stuff inside of the box and everything's been given the premium treatment. Everything's very, very nice. On top of that, we've got a whole ton of adapters, making this compatible with the entire Master Grade Gundam F90 A-Z project. So there's a lot inside of the box, all with great quality, but the sky really is the limit when you start collecting this entire line. Mix and match, it is a whole lot of fun. Finally then, when it does come to the build, about average. However, that is a kind of difficult thing to say. These feel like alternate dimension Gunpla, alternate dimension Master Grades. Because it is a completely different team over a premium Bandai, they seem to have a different set of ideals. The plastic is a little bit more rubbery and soft, it's all shiny, it doesn't build up like a standard Master Grade. Sure, it does have a full inner frame, but at the same time it just feels different. It is kind of hard to explain. But yeah, X Gold tier kit, it is extremely, extremely nice. If you love the Gundam F90 time period in Gundam you see. If you love the F90 designs, or if you just want to play around with the most modular line of master grade kits, I say go for it. If you're just kind of casually looking, maybe it's not necessarily for you. There are a lot of other nicer, easier to get master grades out there. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Come back again tomorrow for another Gunpla review, and I'll be seeing you then. As always, this video right here and every single video I make would not be possible without each and every one of you guys who watches this video. And special thanks at the end of this video right here to those who support on the channel memberships as well as over on Patreon, including Caleb Engelhart, Joe, OG59061, Scotty Thomas, and Simon.